decided today, which is Friday, that I want to go bikepacking this weekend. So I leave tomorrow morning, and it's a cold weekend in the middle of November. So I don't know why I've left it this long. I've been wanting to go near all year, for some reason I just haven't. But I've decided I just need to go, do it, see if I actually definitely enjoy it or not, see what I learn, I try to get myself more excited to do it again. So it's going to be very unprepared, probably going to make quite a few mistakes. It's just trial and error.
I'm going to be using a website called Footpath Map to create a route linking up bridle paths, byways and the odd footpath that I know is rideable.
So I'm going to be taking the Cannondale. Most of this trip is going to be on bridle path and tracks and the odd footpath. These are a lot of the bags I bought over time, and this is a lot of the kit I'm going to be using. I'm not going to go through what I've got in detail, I'm going to do that in another video, but I will have a little run through of what I'm taking and where I'm putting it and what bag. So in the frame bag I have a 20 litre dry bag or a 15 litre depending on how much I need. I have the sleeping bag, the cooking pot and all cooking accessories, a hat, spare clothes, a few warmer clothes. I also have a pillow, which is a bit of a luxury item, but I don't have an inflatable pillow. So in the saddle bag I've got a sleeping bag liner, my high vis, my sleep mat, my tent, the pegs and the poles. In the top tube bag I'm going to have my card, my GoPro, my portable charger and mainly snacks because they're easiest to access whilst on a ride. In the frame bag I've got inner tube, bike lock, a small backpack, a little wash kit, multi-tool, two spares like zip ties and punch repair kit in there, a couple of Allen keys. So I forgot that the dry bag doesn't go very well on this bike, and it doesn't touch the wheel. So we're gonna have to switch the front bag to that one, and that's got a lot smaller capacity. So the pillow is gonna have to go. My first mistake was definitely getting up too late in the morning. I think the time I actually left was about 11:15, maybe 11 o'clock. One thing I hadn't catered for was it's late November and the evenings draw in a lot earlier. So the time I actually got to roughly where I wanted to camp, it was already dark. The idea of setting up camp there in the pitch darkness of the forest wasn't very appealing. It was only about 3 or 4 miles in when I realised I'd already forgot quite an essential item. I had taken with me a spare inner tube, a punch repair kit, but I didn't bring my mini pump. That was still attached to my road bike. Luckily I didn't have any punches, although a few days later after getting back I did come in the shed and I did have a flat tire. There was a little thorn, so I had a very slow puncher on the way back. But that certainly could have ruined the trip. So this morning I was very apprehensive. I didn't really want to go, it looked really cold, dark, cloudy. But I thought if I didn't go now, it's be my only opportunity until like next year at least. En route, I just cut off the track into a village and then found this. I believe it's for bikes. Yeah, it says it's for a pump track. I'm not sure about pump track, but we'll give it a go. Having the GoPro on a trip isn't really essential, but it certainly helps when you're filming. I very rarely use mine, and that's how I found out I might need a new one. No, I definitely need a new one. It died after filming only a couple minutes. As I mainly film with my phone, using the GoPro would have been handy to try to keep as much battery life on my phone as I could. But in the end, it wasn't really worth bringing it at all.
It looks something like this.
It's not looking very reassuring. That's where I need to go. That's where I just come from. Some very dark clouds over there. Got to go down there, I'm assuming. But I feel a bit awkward because there's a load of tractors in the field. There was a rough camping spot in mind, and I knew I would be cycling past it to get food that was further out. What wasn't considered was the amount of daylight I had. By the time I actually cycled past it was pitch black, and the idea of setting out camp there in the pitch darkness of the forest wasn't very appealing. So after getting food, I followed the route back about 4 or 5 miles, where I found some fenced off heathland, and it was right by the main road, which I kind of liked because it broke the silence, and it was just outside the forest, so it was a bit lighter. You can't see it, but there's freaky ass trees around here. So this is today's camp. Some pretty sheltered, to be honest. There's a lot of bushes. It's just gone 6 o'clock. The bike is under this bush pretty well, so that's pretty sheltered. I put my bike log around it as there's nothing to lock it to, but that's pretty, I'm alright with that being there. Admittedly, I don't have much, if any, winter cycling kit. So in terms of keeping me warm, I only had some old comfy clothes, most of which were really bulky. I was using a really thin, small, compact summer sleeping bag and a sleeping bag liner. So wrapping up in a hoodie, some trackies and some long johns, I'd lay it up as much as possible. I could have had a bit of a warmer night. So since going on that trip, I've invested in some better kit for winter. Well, I did get somewhat of a good night's sleep. I was a bit cold and woke up a few times, but yeah, I was expecting to be cold. The bike actually looks really dry. It did rain a little bit last night, and to be honest, only my seat looks wet. This is where I end up camping. There's that little underpass I went under by the War Memorial and the A11. I'm behind those trees over there. By the time I finished waking up, eating, filming some bits, the morning had pretty much disappeared. Packing the bags and loading them on the bike took a lot longer than I was expecting. It would be handy to practice, setting up the bike, getting it all packed up without having somewhere dry to lean things on and having something to prop the bike up. So once again, I think it was gone 11 before the bike and I were ready to start the trek home. And we're done, all packed. I've got my rubbish where my high-vis was. Leave no trace. I'm not going to film much on the way back because I don't have much power on my phone. Of all things, the one thing I'm looking forward to most in future trips is to have someone along for the ride. Someone who appreciates the planning, the route, just where we are, and the whole concept of bikepacking. Once it warms up, another trip is a must. It's been really good fun planning, exploring and riding, and just finally doing it after having the kit and just the idea of it in my head too long. And I'm home. I took the shorter route back because I've got a bit of a mechanical issue. Get out of the way. Bearings are gone, I think.
It looks something like this.